Hello Internet, how you doing? Kenny Stewart here with another YMS versus the Internet. Today we're going to talk about Shazam versus. First up we have Shazam versus Superman. So let's get this party started with an old guy reappearing on the show, Superman. Alright, talking about Superman versus Shazam. Obviously this is a pretty old one, they're pretty much hand in hand. Let's talk about a little bit of history from these guys. Shazam was originally created by Fawcett Comics back in, I believe it was the 1960s, and he became extremely popular and he outsold Superman, so DC's like, we can't have this nonsense, sue Fawcett Comics, and then they took the rights to Shazam over to DC. So they have a history of battling each other all the time. When DC portrays them fighting, usually it has Superman winning, but that's because Superman's their power child and they can't have him losing ever. But let's really talk about what these characters are capable of. Shazam, whenever he yells out the acronym Shazam, he gains powers. Shazam basically becomes another Superman-like character, except for he has the ability to use lightning and some magical artifacts along with a little bit of magic himself. Shazam has the ability to use the Javelin of Eternity, which allows him to lock things away into the Rock of Eternity, which is pretty much the kind of bat cave to the Shazam family and the Wizard Shazam. You get stabbed by it, you get transported into the Rock of Eternity with the original sins, and you're kind of stuck there until you're released by Shazam or the Wizard. That would instantly put an end to Superman, but Superman's got a couple tricks of his own. Superman's got the breathing abilities where he could freeze you, blow you away with huge gusts of winds. And he also got his laser vision, which is something that Shazam doesn't have. That is a long-range ability that Shazam doesn't quite really know how to deal with, but he will figure it out. So breaking it down, let's talk about speed now. Shazam and Superman have both been seen racing the Flash and beating him on different occasions. They're not as fast and probably won't peak Flash at any time soon, but they have both raced him and beat him at certain points. So neither of them really have the speed advantage. Let's talk about strength. Superman has been shown to do some pretty insane stuff like move the planet. In All-Star Superman, he did like that 16 quintillion ton single arm press against a piston. That was ridiculous. Shazam, I think his greatest feat comes when he was with Superman and Wonder Woman and they picked up a book that had like an infinite number of pages. I don't know about you, but when you take infinity and divide it by 3, it's still infinity. So yeah, I'll leave that the way it is. Moving on, we have intelligence. Let's talk about this. Superman's got some pretty good things up in his corner. He's learned a lot. He's capable of learning faster and more efficiently than other characters. He has several different forms of combat that he's created himself. Shazam, on the other hand, he's got the intelligence of Solomon, and he's got the battle tactician ability of Achilles. So in terms of a fight, I believe that Shazam kind of takes the edge on this one, although he still has the downside of transforming into Billy Batson, in which he will lose all this stuff. So he has a conditional upside on Superman. We'll see how that moves out. We have seen Superman defeat Billy Batson, like in Justice League Unlimited, where he's got him to use the word Shazam against himself, transform him into a kid, and then he covered his mouth, and it was game over. Moving on, now let's break down this fight. They'll go on. There's the idea that Shazam is idolizing Superman, so he will try and prove himself against Superman. Superman will see Shazam as just Billy Batson as a kid, and maybe he shouldn't have to go full strength on him. And we'll always be able to play that into this factor. In the end, I think at first Superman will pretty much always win because if we take about this chronologically in character development, Superman is a lot older, a lot more experienced. At first he'll defeat Shazam, but then after that I think the victories will always go to Shazam because he will be smarter, he will build up that experience. He's got a lot more diverse field of abilities, and his equipment that he has outshines a lot of Superman stuff. Beyond that, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this fight in the comment section down below. We're going to move on from this point. Next up, the internet has Shazam versus Black Atom. This is, I'm not surprised to see this fight at all because they have been rivals since the beginning of time. for this character, at least in DC. Black Adam. Pretty much the same character. They both have the blessing from the wizard Shazam, so they have the same powers. We need to talk about what it is these characters do against each other. So I'm going to refer back to the Superman versus Shazam thing. In terms of experience, Black Adam definitely has the advantage. He's had the power much longer. He's used it much longer. He's pretty much stayed in the state of Shazam his entire life. The one thing that Shazam has over Black Adam is the fact that he's the protagonist and that he's the hero, so he needs to win. So in the author's eyes, he kind of fulfills that role. Black Adam, being mostly an anti-hero, not really a villain, is subject to defeat because of this. But if I had to break this down on who would win, I believe Black Adam wins. He has more experience with the power, so he can use it better. He's actually incredibly smart, even beyond having the power of Shazam. He's really just more effective at using this power. Now, eventually, over time, we will see Billy Batson become as efficient with this power, but as things are chronologically within the comics right now, he's not as proficient as Black Adam is with this power, so I'm going to give this victory to Black Adam. Moving on, let's see what the internet has next up. We have Shazam versus, my beat stick Thor. I'm kind of surprised that this is one of the most common things to see on Google. Oh well. Having Shazam versus my whoopin' boy. Love to see Thor come up in these versus videos because I pick on him a lot. In this fight we got Thor, the god of thunder, Asgardian prince, who is really the strongest physical Asgardian there is. He was created by Odin and Gaia to be the strongest character ever. Stan Lee's intention for him when he created him was to be the strongest character ever. He wields Mjolnir. He's got a power belt that multiplies his strength, which is already phenomenal by itself. But in comparison to Shazam, who's got Superman type strength, or more accurately Hercules, which is in some instances greater than Superman, who is already stronger than Thor, honestly. I'm going to give this strength battle to Shazam. Talking about experience, we've got the wisdom of Solomon and the experience, the tactical genius of Achilles versus Thor, who's been alive for an incredibly long time, and his battle prowess is extraordinary. So I'm going to have to say that in terms of battle technique, they're pretty even. Hulk's also got the battle rage, in which he's able to go into, which will further multiply his abilities within battle, and his stamina mostly, which will allow him to battle for months, even years on ends in some instances. So in a battle between these two, I'm going to have to give the edge to... they're kind of the same. They both got the ability to wield lightning. Shazam, if he uses his lightning abilities, isn't going to hurt Thor that much, whereas Thor, if he uses his lightning abilities, might be able to hurt Shazam. Thor and Shazam could probably fight for about the same amount of time because they don't require the same amount of things. I don't think Shazam requires sustenance at all. Both can breathe in space. This is going to be a very long battle, very intense. Let's see here what else could swing these factors. Mjolnir is a huge problem for Shazam, but again, he's also got the Javelin of Eternity, which is a one kill shot thing. It's not going to end or kill Thor, but it will send him to the Rock of Eternity, which is an eternal prison that he can't really escape from. This might end up being like another Superman fight where at first Shazam will probably lose, but eventually he'll become more proficient with his power, and then he will overcome Thor. I think physically Shazam's going to win, so we're going to have to... I think in the end I'll give this one to Shazam, but he's going to have some problems with Thor having an immunity to lightning and also being a physical beatstick himself. Other than that, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section down below about Shazam versus Thor. Alright, and that's the end of what the internet has to say. So guys, we're going to reiterate what we have here. I'd love to hear from you. We have Shazam versus Thor. We also had Shazam versus Black Adam. And then Shazam versus Superman. To do a quick rundown again, I believe that Shazam would probably beat Thor. Shazam would lose to Black Adam, and Shazam will at first lose to Superman, but eventually beat him. So, love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section down below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible, and as always, your move, Internet.